For all the examples we've seen, him suing Showtime for $300 million, him foreclosing on multiple properties, him losing on investments on multiple properties, him buying a lot of depreciating assets, and him all of a sudden looking to box very much in the year 2026. Floyd losing money Mayweather, as the chatter says, is in dire straits financially.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Some people will say, you know, he's suing now because of his gambling habits, which was not hidden. It was not a secret. He would post, not Teddy Atlas talking about anything that wasn't out there. He would post some of his tickets, his betting tickets that he bet, and they were large bets. And so some people say, oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever.
Once seen as one of the richest and most untouchable men in sports, Floyd Mayweather now appears to be facing a serious downfall. And the crazy part is, the boxing world isn't just shocked, it's split between grief and anger as his legal troubles continue to pile up. But it gets even deeper, because Mayweather's recent comments about the Pacquiao fight may have opened the door to another major problem. Reports suggest Manny Pacquiao could even take legal action, turning an old rivalry into a brand new war outside the ring.
There's no joy. We are not one of these sick people, and I call them sick, I'm not afraid to say what I feel, that's in their underwear in grandmother's basement or wherever the freak they are, taking pot shot at people because of their misery, because of their misfortune, because they're in a bad place. Shame on you. And shame on the people out there. I know that there's some of them, everyone knows I don't really read that internet unless somebody shows me specifically some stuff, and I saw some of the stuff. I didn't want to see any more, so I told them, don't show me anymore. But I saw enough to see what was out there. People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great.
Reports suggest Mayweather's huge wealth may not be as secure as it seems, with claims of liens, foreclosures, debts, and leveraged assets like property and even his private jet. Creditors have reportedly been pursuing him over unpaid jet fuel. On top of that, Mayweather sparked fresh controversy by calling the Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition, despite allegedly taking a professional fight advance, something that could put him in breach of contract.
Mayweather had to say the fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport and this kind of...
On Twitter, Mike Carpenter called out Floyd Mayweather's controversial comments, saying Floyd's claims directly contradict Netflix's official announcement. He warned that if Mayweather keeps insisting it's an exhibition, it could put him in breach of contract. Wade Plemon went even harder, saying that after allegedly taking signing and advance payments for a professional fight, Floyd calling it an exhibition looks like he's trying to scam Netflix and Manny Pacquiao's team. He also claimed Mayweather has done similar things before, pointing to the Logan Paul fight and accusing Floyd of pre-selling it using another person's name and likeness for major money.
Something is off. Something's completely off because you got one person saying it's a real fight. You got the promotion saying this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix. That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like part.
Teddy Atlas said the whole situation is honestly sad, explaining that a lot of athletes don't have the right people around them to manage their money properly. And in his view, that's exactly what happened with Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, fighters, they risk everything. They risk so much. And then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whether whoever. It never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's look, you could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on. But there are also sharks in this business, in any business, and sometimes these athletes. I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them. To properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey, some don't listen.
Jonah Renitz is a controversial businessman and close associate of Floyd Mayweather Jr., often described as a major figure behind Floyd's post-boxing business moves, especially in real estate. And now his name is being pulled into the growing chaos. An account on X claimed that Manny Pacquiao's team is threatening legal action against Mayweather over the Netflix Sphere fight. But here's the twist, this reportedly isn't the only lawsuit threat hanging over Floyd and his inner circle. Renitz himself has faced serious legal trouble in the past, with claims he was even supposed to go to prison. Meanwhile, Manny is drawing a hard line, saying this is a real fight and he will not take part in an exhibition. And since Floyd has allegedly already signed the contract, Pacquiao's side insists he has no choice but to fight in a legitimate sanctioned bout.
It's an exhibition and not a real fight?
Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure?
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight, okay. Yeah, because I know he said...
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
The Sphere still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then.
He has to remember.
Joe Rogan pointed out that Floyd Mayweather wasn't just a champion, he was boxing's biggest American star for over a decade. And in 2015, he cemented that status by beating Manny Pacquiao in what was the richest fight the sport had ever seen at the time. Floyd showed off that elite defense, lightning-fast hands, and the slick, money-made persona that turned him into a global icon and helped build his fortune.
Shifted from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Changed the whole thing.
He knew what he was doing.
He definitely did. It would have been an interesting fight had he fought Pacquiao when he was younger in his prime. It would have been a very different.
Would have been
fight.
A more interesting fight.
Much more different.
Because
much more difficult
any
fight.
go-forward physical warrior like Pacquiao is going to wear down.
Right. Exactly.
And any brilliant counterpuncher like Floyd is going to retain more.
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah, it would have been much more interesting when they were younger. Also, the fact that Pacquiao fought him with a bum shoulder. That was a disaster, too.
Money talks.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess he was faced with this thing, legacy, it was the biggest pay-per-view of all time in boxing, correct?
I believe so.
I believe so. And I think it was like 4 million buys or something crazy like that.
It was huge.
So, what is that?
It was massive.
Floyd Mayweather has always made his wealth part of the show, flexing luxury watches, exotic cars, and even signing massive checks, like $18 million, as if money meant nothing. He carried himself like he was untouchable, like financial consequences didn't apply to him. But now the story is taking a different turn. Mayweather has filed a lawsuit against his former broadcast partner, Showtime, and ex-president Steven Espinoza, claiming he's owed $340 million. And that's where it gets interesting, because it exposes a sharp contrast between the money may image fans see and the complicated financial battles happening behind the scenes. It's proof that even a superstar like Mayweather can get caught up when contracts, payments, and big money collide.
We gotta talk about it. 18 mil retired. I know some people gonna be like, well, you said I didn't want to say I was active because that's normal. Right? I said I wasn't activated. I knew what I said. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you didn't say that right. I know I said it right. I knew what I said. I knew what I posted.
I don't really care how much you make, bro. I feel like writing an $18 million check has to feel some sort of way.
That's crazy. I didn't want to do it. Of course, I'm like, who wants to give up basically 20 million?
You wrote 18,180,000,000.00. Like, bro, that's crazy.
You know, I got huge deals on the table, so I'm always making shake.
What's the biggest thing you got working right now?
I can show this. Come here. So come here. So
dude, what is it?
Look at this long. Okay. So this one right here.
That's crazy.
I just keep stuff on the low.
Yeah, my math don't work like that. My math.
So now, when we gonna cut it and get straight?
50 Cent has said a big reason people dislike Floyd Mayweather is because of his money-first mindset and the way he constantly flexes his wealth. For years, fans didn't just want to see him lose, they wanted to see him fall. But here's the twist, Floyd turned that hate into fuel. The more people wanted him to fail, the more they paid to watch, and that anger only boosted his pay-per-view numbers. Instead of running from the backlash, Mayweather used it as a business weapon. And that's exactly why he became one of the most financially successful and most hated figures boxing has ever seen.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like
Max Kellerman explains that fighters like Floyd Mayweather, who spend wildly and don't always make smart long-term investments, can run into serious financial trouble once their prime earning years are over. He stresses that even athletes who make insane amounts of money can still end up struggling later if they don't manage it properly. According to Kellerman, non-stop spending without planning for the future creates problems that eventually catch up, especially when the big paydays slow down. He points to Floyd as a prime example, saying poor financial foresight can lead to lawsuits, debt, and even pressure to return to the ring. In the end, Kellerman's message is simple: money management matters, no matter how rich you get.